During the graduation, teachers noticed something strange and stopped everything. The auditorium was buzzing with excitement. Families, friends, and teachers were gathered, eagerly awaiting the graduation ceremony. The large stage, draped in Riverside's colors, was ready for the graduating class to make their big moment. Graduates stood in line, robes flowing, bright smiles on their faces, and hats perfectly perched, waiting for their names to be called. Laughter and conversations filled the space as everyone anticipated the ceremony's beginning. For many, graduation day represented the culmination of years of hard work, determination, and memories. It was a day for students to celebrate with their peers, but more importantly, with their loved ones who had supported them on the long journey. Among the proud graduates waiting to walk across the stage was Olivia, a young woman who had endured her share of challenges. At just 18, Olivia was about to graduate high school, an achievement that seemed impossible just a couple of years ago. She was more than just another graduate in the sea of caps and gowns. Olivia was also a young mother. At 15, she had given birth to her son, Liam, and her life had changed dramatically. Being a single mom while balancing school had been a steep uphill battle, but Olivia was determined to make it to graduation, for herself and for Liam. Olivia had never imagined her life would take such a dramatic turn in her early teens. When she was just 14, she met Daniel, an older colleague at her school. Daniel was 18 and seemed mature, confident, and charming. Everything a young girl like Olivia found captivating. They became friends, and before long they began spending more time together. To Olivia, it felt like a dream, having the attention of someone older and seemingly wiser. She was young and naive, unaware of the potential consequences of their actions. It wasn't long before one impulsive mistake changed her life forever. Olivia found out she was pregnant. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She'd barely started high school, and now she was facing a reality that she wasn't prepared for. When she told Daniel, his reaction was not what she had hoped. Instead of supporting her, Daniel panicked. He made excuses, claimed he wasn't ready, and eventually stopped returning her calls. He vanished from her life, leaving Olivia to deal with everything on her own. The hardest blow, however, came from her own family when Olivia broke the news to her parents. They were furious. They were disappointed and felt betrayed. They were a conservative family, and the idea of their teenage daughter becoming a mother was something they couldn't accept. In their anger and disbelief, they told her that she was on her own if she decided to keep the baby. It was the worst moment of Olivia's life, to lose not only the father of her baby, but also the support of her own parents. In the midst of her despair, the only person who stood by her was her older brother, Ethan. Ethan was 23 at the time and had recently moved out, living with his girlfriend, Mia. When Ethan found out what had happened, he was initially shocked, but unlike their parents, he knew that his sister needed him now more than ever. He remembered how Olivia had always looked up to him when they were kids, how she used to follow him around and ask him to teach her new things. He couldn't turn his back on her now. Ethan took Olivia in, giving her a place to stay when she had nowhere else to go. He and Mia supported her through her pregnancy, helping her navigate the challenges of being a young, expectant mother. They attended doctor's appointments with her, helped her prepare for the baby, and, most importantly, provided her with the love and stability that she so desperately needed. Olivia faced judgment from many people in her community. Friends distanced themselves, and even at school she could feel the whispers behind her back. But despite all of that, she found comfort in her brother's unwavering support. Ethan would always remind her that she was stronger than she realized, that she could still have a future, and that the baby she was carrying was not the end of her dreams, but the beginning of a new chapter. Ethan's support was instrumental in helping Olivia get back on her feet. He worked extra shifts to make sure they had enough to cover their expenses. And Mia, who had always dreamed of becoming a teacher, helped Olivia with her schoolwork, tutoring her in subjects she struggled with. They became her rock, her family, when she felt like she had lost everything else. She'd spent many sleepless nights taking care of Liam while catching up on schoolwork, but her perseverance had paid off. She'd managed to stay on track to graduate, supported by her older brother Ethan and his girlfriend, who had offered her a roof over her head and love when she needed it most. Today, standing in her blue graduation robe with the tassel swaying in anticipation, Olivia was filled with pride and relief. It wasn't just Olivia who was celebrating today. Little Liam, now almost 3 years old, was sitting in the audience, decked out in a tiny suit. She had bought online. Olivia wanted him to be part of her special day, to witness the triumph that was not just hers, but also his. After all, they'd gotten through these years together. The moment finally came. The principal took to the podium, welcomed the crowd, and called the ceremony to order. The graduates cheered, their excitement almost palpable as the principal began calling names. One by one, each student walked across the stage to the applause of their families. Olivia's turn came, and she straightened her cap, stepping onto the stage with her heart pounding. She looked into the crowd, searching for Liam, wanting to see her son's face among the sea of spectators. And there he was, smiling, waving and clapping his small hands, barely making a sound, but his joy echoing throughout Olivia's heart. She stepped forward, shook hands with her principal, and accepted her diploma. There were cheers and applause from the audience. But just as Olivia was about to step off the stage, something unusual happened. A commotion broke out among the teachers who had been sitting in the front row. The teachers were pointing and whispering urgently, their eyes wide with a mixture of surprise and confusion. The principal paused, visibly perplexed by the disturbance. The crowd, noticing the sudden change in atmosphere, started to murmur. Olivia turned, following their gaze, and her eyes landed on Liam, who was no longer seated in his chair. He had made his way to the aisle, toddling toward the stage with determination. He held something in his hands, a small bouquet of bright yellow flowers, slightly crumpled but gathered with care. A collective awe rippled through the auditorium as Liam made his way to the stage. He was beaming, his little legs moving as fast as they could while balancing the bouquet. Olivia's eyes filled with tears as she knelt down, holding out her arms as Liam approached her. The teachers, who had been concerned, now wore expressions of pure warmth and affection. The commotion had transformed into an emotional scene that none of them had expected. Olivia scooped Liam up in her arms, and he handed her the bouquet, his tiny voice echoing in the microphone. "Mommy, flowers for you," he said. His words met with a chorus of cheers and applause from the audience. The principal, clearly moved by the scene, stepped back to give Olivia and Liam a moment. Olivia hugged Liam tightly, her tears spilling over. This was the culmination of all her struggles, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices she had made for her son. She stood up, Liam in her arms, and the crowd erupted into applause, louder and more enthusiastic than before. It wasn't just for her graduation. It was for her courage, her dedication, and the love she had for her son. Olivia took a deep breath, walked back to the microphone, and spoke. "I want to thank my family, my teachers, and everyone who has helped me along the way. And most importantly, I want to thank Liam. This day is as much his as it is mine." The audience, including the teachers who had initially been startled by Liam's presence, stood up in applause. They understood what this moment meant. It was about resilience, about never giving up even when the odds were stacked against you. The rest of the ceremony continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. There was newfound warmth in the room, a deeper understanding of what this day truly meant. It was no longer just about academic achievements. It was about the stories behind each graduate, the struggles, the sacrifices, and the triumphs that had led them to this point. After the ceremony, Olivia and Liam were surrounded by well-wishers. Some of Olivia's classmates, who she had never spoken to much before, came up to her to congratulate her and meet Liam. The tiny boy in his suit became an instant favorite, charming everyone with his shy smiles and enthusiastic high fives. Her teachers also came up, their eyes glistening with tears. Miss Carter, Olivia's math teacher, pulled her into a hug. "Olivia, we are so proud of you. You faced challenges that most of us can't even imagine, and you did it with such grace. You're an inspiration to all of us." Olivia's brother Ethan and his girlfriend approached, their faces filled with pride. Ethan hugged her tightly, lifting Liam up onto his shoulders. "You did it, kid," Ethan said, his voice thick with emotion. "I always knew you would. And Liam here, he's got the best mom in the world." As the day continued, Olivia reflected on how far she had come. She remembered the day she had found out she was pregnant, the fear, the uncertainty, and the harsh words from those around her. People had said she was ruining her life, that she would never be able to finish school, let alone make anything of herself. She'd felt the weight of judgment from those who believed her dreams were over. But Olivia had chosen a different path. She decided to fight, to work harder than ever before, to give her son a better future. Olivia thought back to the nights she had spent studying while Liam slept beside her, his tiny hands clutching her shirt. She remembered the times when she felt overwhelmed, wondering if she was making the right decisions. But every time Liam smiled at her, every time he hugged her, she knew she was doing what mattered most. And today, standing there in her graduation gown, diploma in hand, Liam in her arms, Olivia knew that all the sacrifices had been worth it. She wasn't just graduating from high school. She was stepping into a new chapter of her life, one where she was not just a young mother but also a role model for her son. She was showing Liam that no matter the obstacles, dreams were achievable. The story of Olivia and Liam became a point of pride for the community. Her graduation day was remembered not just as another ceremony but as the day when everyone saw the power of resilience and love firsthand. It showed that success wasn't about following a perfect path, but about pushing forward, even when the journey was far from easy. And so Olivia's journey continued. With Liam by her side, she was ready to take on the world, step by step, armed with her diploma, her dreams, and the unwavering belief that anything was possible.